Okay, I just did a live video about cleansing and programming crystals, and I had so much interference of highly religious people telling me that I was evil and everything. I decided to delete it. So I've deleted it. It was really lovely. There was a couple of people on there that enjoyed it and asked me some fabulous questions, but I'm sorry, I had to delete it. It was so intrusive. And I'm not sure whether it's bots or whatever it is, but you know how these crazies, highly religious people think crystals and astrology and everything is evil, but you know, crystals are made up of the elements. Actually, crystals are in your phone, in your computer. A crystal chip is in every electronics because it stores information brilliantly. So that's why it's important to cleanse and program your crystals. So I'm going to show you a very deep way of cleansing. Most people, when they purchase a crystal, they don't realize that crystal has been through a journey, a very long journey to get to them. And in some cases, it's experienced dynamite explosions, fear, you know, trauma, and then it's gone through all these hands, all this machinery, all this electronics, everything to get to you. And then it's put in a shop under harsh lights, and, you know, it's basically really traumatized a lot of the time. And they look lovely, but they have energy in them. Now, I personally use crystals quite a lot and have been working with them for over 45 years. I'm a great collector of them. And what I will say is this: most crystals you can cleanse in water and salt. You cannot cleanse selenite or shungite in water and salt, and kunzite, I think, as well. Shouldn't be placed in water. You can just place it in salt and put it out. I put mine in a glass jar and I put them out in the sun and the moonlight on the ground. But if you live in an apartment, you can put them on the balcony, or you can put them on a windowsill, but where they can get sunlight and moonlight very clearly for a few days, depending on, you know, what sort of journey they've had, what you're feeling from them. I've actually put some crystals in the ground for a year, right, because they've been through so much. But most of the time, it could be a month or a week, right? So once you've had them in water and salt for that period of time, you're going to continue on with the cleansing, because crystals absorb, just like you and I, we absorb information without realizing it. We absorb colors, sounds, conversations, images. You know, a lot of movies have flash images that program us at the moment. It's been going on for a long time, so that we think a certain way, because they realize that we actually absorb everything. Yeah, straight into the brain. We get programmed. And crystals are very absorbent as well. Now, another thing, just while I'm here, that you can do with electronics. So say, for instance, you go through an upgrade, you've gone through a lot of healing or whatever, and your electronics start to go a bit, sit, meditate, tune in to the crystal within the electronics. So the computer chip, yeah, tune into it, and just gently say, okay, I've been through an upgrade. Let's vibrate together. Just tune into it. Feel it. Thank you for being in my life. Let's vibrate together. I'm so happy that we're, you know, in tune with each other. That sort of thing. Something nice. So that's one way to just rebalance everything. So let's get on with this. So now I've had my crystal, my quartz crystal. You can put any crystal apart from those ones that I spoke of. There may be some other ones, but you know, I'm doing a quick thing here. Crystal. Now I'm going to show you what I've done. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit, okay, so you can see. Alrighty. So I have a candle here. I'm going to pass it through the flame, through the fire. Remember what fire does. What does fire do? Yeah? What does fire do? Then I'm going to pass it over. Now you can I have some incense here, yeah. I'll pass it through the incense. I'm using Nang Champa. You can use sage, you can use Palo Santos, a smudge stick, whatever you like. And then the fire. Because what I'm doing is I'm removing whatever this crystal has held in it or any program that's been in it previously. Okay? So you might do this a few times, right? So you're going to do that a few times until you feel that your crystal, I don't know, feels clean or something like that. I'll just straighten this out a little bit. Then you're going to think about what you want to program the crystal with. For instance, I often use crystals under people's bodies. So I would have a massage table and I'd do a grid under the massage table on a piece of board. And every one of those crystals has been programmed for a specific thing. Now, once I've had the person on there and we've done the healing and everything, I would then remove those crystals, cleanse them in the water and the salt overnight, and then do the grid again. I don't need to reprogram them once I've programmed them, unless I want to change the program, okay? So I'm going to think about what it is I want to program the crystal with. So that could be, I want to program this crystal with supporting anyone that comes onto this massage table in releasing their deepest pain. Just something, it can be something like that. Or I'll just tell you a story, because I've been doing crystals for a long time, but while I was studying, I was working in an office part-time. And there was a guy that worked in there, and he really wanted, he was I was young, he was an older guy, and he was really lovely, and he wanted to get married and have kids desperately. And I thought one Christmas, why don't I really think of the people that I love and that I care about and program crystals for them, and then write out what the crystal is for and what to do with it, like where to place it on their body or to put it under their pillow or whatever it was for, and give that to them as a gift for Christmas. And for him, I thought I wanted a lovely woman to come into his life and for him to create a family with this woman, to have some children. So I really visualized this, that this man came to me and said, I'm so happy. I have a beautiful wife and I have children and I'm so happy. And I felt it. I felt his joy and his love and his just pure happiness. And what you do is you think about it, right? You think about it really strongly and you feel it in your heart. Then you use the element of air. Remember, air is communication. I'm going to program this crystal with my heart, with my love, and my communication. And I thought about him in love with these children, happy in a family. And I just closed my eyes, held it really strong, held the crystal from my heart, passing the energy through. Thought about it in my mind, my heart, the energy through, and then I charged the crystal with that breath. And a few years later, probably 7, 8 years later, I'm driving down Main Street of Sydney and I hear this horn beeping, and beside me is this man screaming, Susan, Susan. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say his name. I was like, oh my God, And he goes, I'm married, I have kids, thank you, like this. What I saw when I programmed the crystal was him saying to me, oh my God, I'm so happy I have a wife and I have children. And that's what he said to me. He was so happy. It worked, he said. And he drove off, Never saw him again. And I was the power of your intention for another person. When someone, that's what I mean by the healing. Every person that comes in, I'm not looking at their pain. I'm looking at their goodness. I'm looking at them as a whole person, and I'm asking the crystals to bring that into reality. And that's what it's about. So then I, would lay them down, and that's how you do it. You program a crystal. So a lot of people, I would go and help people who had businesses, for instance, a shop or something, that have crystals taped to their cash register and stuff like that. And the crystals were like screaming at me, help me, help me. And I'd say, okay, we need to remove the crystals. I'd have them for a week to a month, cleanse them, reprogram them, bring them back, put them in position where they need to be. And I'd say to them, every few days, take them off in the evening, put them in the salt water, put them in the sunlight, put them back the next day. It's fine. You don't have to leave them there for a week. Put them back the next day. But do this regularly, because it's just like you need to be cleansed. You need to go to the toilet and everything every day. The crystal does too, get rid of the crap. So that's what you do with crystal. That's how you do it, to really, but you have to set the intention. Now, because I did this live, I had a few questions come to me, and I'd like to just bring that up. I was talking about also, say for instance, you wanted to make a change in your life. I know this is just about cleansing, but because this came up, I want to put it out there. You want to make a change in your life. You get what's called a snowflake obsidian. Look, I'm in my work space, so I don't have all my crystals in front of me. Otherwise, I'd pull one up and show it to you. But a snowflake obsidian is a little black. Now, I'm not doing the evil eye here. I'm showing it's a circle, okay? It's a black stone. Obsidian is a crystal that's been in a lot of heat, and it has little white dots on it. Some have more white dots than others. So what that means is they're turning dark to light. So if you were to put that snowflake obsidian, let's say, on your solar plexus or your belly button and tape it there overnight, if you wanted to bring change into your life, and do that for several days or weeks, depending on how stubborn you are, change will start to happen. You can use only black obsidian on the lower part of your body, say your sacral or something, if you wanted to cleanse yourself out, especially of sexual abuse and things like that, to cleanse out the physical energy of that. If you wanted to, let's say, do a protective grid around your home, you get 2 clear quartz crystals. They don't have to be big. There's power in little ones as well. And you don't use double terminated. Double terminated are crystals that have a point at both ends, yeah? So they have a point at both ends. You use 2 separate crystals with a point each, not double terminated. You cleanse them really in the salt and the water, through the fire, through the air. Program 1, the first one, which is going to point out of your build. So you put it in the 4 corners of your home, whether it's apartment, a house, a garden. 1, there's the corner, so it's facing out of your house. You're going to program that to not allow any darkness in your house, right? Whatever words you want to use. The other one, you're going to program to bring light and love into your house, and put them together like this. One is bringing the light in, the other one is removing the dark, not allowing it in. That's what you can do with 2 crystals on each corner. So you'd need 8 crystals, right? There's many things that you can do with crystals. Don't wear too many. Don't put them in children's bedrooms. It's too much energy for kids. If you're going to put something in a kid's bedroom, put something grounding, like pyrite or hematite or rose quartz, which is more calm, yeah? Now, someone also asked me about smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is really good for grounding. It's also good for abundance, but it's also good for bringing down information. So if you're struggling to get messages from your guides or from your higher self, or activate your intuition, smoky quartz and fluorite are very good for that in combination. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you now. And I'm really happy that I redid this, because that person who was, I don't know if it was a bot, but they were calling me evil and all of this sort of stuff. And I was sort of engaging in it, which I should never have done, because it was a big distraction. And I know that there are a lot of distractions that are happening right now. And I will tell you this. There is a division that's going on about, you know, what is God, what is good, what is religious, what is evil, and everything else like that. God is not a punishing God. And in the Bible, they used astronomy and a bit of astrology, and they used a lot of things for healing. So, yeah, and the other thing that I get confused about is the prophets. The prophets are very good clairvoyants and very good mediums, but because they come under the guise of religion, they call themselves prophets. But anybody else who doesn't come under the guise of religion is evil. And for me, that's wrong. You know if it's evil because it's bad information, right? It's not coming from the heart. It's telling people to hurt another person or to do bad things, to lie, to cheat, to steal. That's evil. It's very simple, really. So just know that crystals are not evil. Astrology is not evil. These things are not evil. And I know that there's going to be a big renaissance around crystals, around alternatives, because they were pushed out for a long time. But the battle may come with the church and religions, yeah? So be aware of that. Don't consider yourself evil, especially if you're using it for good. A crystal, anything, cards, crystals, anything can be used for evil. It's the person. The same with a gun. It's the person's intention that makes it evil or good. So I'm going to love you and leave you and have a lovely day. Bye.